Hello, what is up guys? Eman from Peso Smart Peach here. Welcome sa panibagong episode. Shout out to all the podcast listeners as well. I appreciate you all. Today, let's talk about COL Financial. COL Financial, if you don't know, is an investment bank or financial services dito sa Philippines. And mainly, they conduct their businesses and they offer brokerage services. So, stockbroker yung COL Financial. And yung all-time high niya was nakuha nung January 2021 at around 5.10 pesos per share. And if you take a look at the price, around 5.10. There we go. If you compare it to the current market price na 3.47, it's down by around 31.98%. And nasa longer time frame tayo, nasa weekly time frame tayo. And as you can see here, sa window na to from December 2021, kita natin na medyo mababa na yung RSI ng weekly RSI ng COL Financial. And the lowest was nung May 2022 at around 23.18. And the prices back then, lowest was 3.40. And right now, yung lowest na for this week was around 3.39. And currently, nag-trade nga siya at 3.47. Enough of the price action, hindi naman yung main focus natin for this video. So, main goal for this video is to review their financial statement. And in particular, yung kanilang financial report nung second quarter ng 2022. And I wanted to show you kung paano mag-compute ng gross profit margin, ng net income margin. Para matutunan nyo kung paano gamitin itong mga indicators, so fundamental indicators so to speak. Kasi diba may mga technical indicators tayo. But we also have some ratios and some data that we can look into when we're checking for or reviewing the fundamentals of a particular company that you want to buy. And itong basic kasi na income statement and balance sheet na pinapakita dito, you can really compute anything, well, except for the net income margin. Now, for example, if you want to compute for the net income margin, you just have to copy this. So this is the net income after taxes. And then paste it, and then just divide it by the gross revenue. Divide it here. Then there we have it. Times 100 lang. Nasa 28.71% yung net income. Net income margin ng, what do you call this? Ng COL Financial for the second quarter of 2022. And this number is on the upper side or the higher side of the spectrum. Kasi if yung net income margin is at 20% or more, then that's on the higher side. Then on average, the net income margin is between 10% to 20%. And then it's on the lower side of the spectrum if it's like below 5 to 10%. Now, para mas maging accurate tayo, we have to check and read and try to understand the financial report of the company. So, punta lang kayo sa company disclosures and then click on the quarterly report. Magkakaroon ng pop-up when you click the quarterly report and you just have to download the PDF dun sa pop-up na yun, and then just open it kahit saang browser, and then you can read and review the financial statement and financial report of the particular company. Once you are there, then ito yung makikita nyo. Usually, yung mga financial report, especially pag quarterly report lang yung i-review nyo, around 50-ish pages to up to 100 pages yung makikita nyo. You can read up everything if you're a reader, but for me personally, I I kind of struggle a lot, like focusing on just one thing and just reading everything. So ang ginagawa ko, I just skim through the material to the quarterly report or any kind of report. So I can just do it in just one sitting. So I just skim through it and tinitingnan ko and I try to understand ano ba nangyayari, ano ba ibig sabihin ng mga figures na to, and alin ba sa mga data na to yung mahalaga and magiging factor kung bakit bibilin ko yung isang stock ng company or hindi ko bibilin yung isang stock ng company, or bakit ko ba ibebenta itong company na to. And kapag bago ko pa lang, you can just again skim through this and try to make sense of what they're saying and what they are showing here. So yung mga makita nyo dito, explanation, ano ba nangyari for this quarter, bakit ba tayo kumita ng ganito kalaking pera, bakit ba hindi kumita yung company for this quarter, what are the factors na naka-apekto dun sa daily business ng company na yun. Ito, may business model, industry, and economic review. So, lahat yan makikita nyo dito. But, yung pwede nyong tingnan agad is yung nasa pinakadulo, which is ito, mga key indicators. So, makikita nyo dito yung current ratio. If hindi nyo pa naintindihan yung current ratio and itong mga iba't ibang ratios na to, I discussed this in detail sa isang previous video. I'm just gonna put it here sa upper right side para mas maintindihan nyo. And diniscuss natin doon lahat ng yung mga short-term and long-term debts that may affect the business. And doon din natin mapipinpoint kung maganda mong bilhin yung company, kung sustainable ba yung mga loans nila, yung mga debts nila. Can they make enough money in the future? Do they have enough potential cash flow para mabayaran itong mga liabilities na to? Ito, di ba kita nyo dito yung net profit and loss margin? So sa computation natin kanina, sa 28% lang ito. Pero dito kasi mas malaki yung net income na nailagay. Okay, I had to correct myself kasi yung compute natin kanina is for the second quarter only of the financial statement. So this is just for the second quarter. Yung nakalagay dito was the total revenue for 6 months of 2022. So kita natin dito yung total revenue is andito rin, 401.7 million. And then yung net income is ito, attributable to parent yung ginagamit nila, 139.6 million. And we have it here. So again, this is a very good number. This is a very good percentage, 35% na net profit margin. Kapag nga gross profit pa lang, that means na yung total revenue, ma-minus mo lang yung, what you call this, ma-minus mo lang yung cost of goods sold or cost of services sold, if that's a thing. Kasi yung COL Financial services yung binibenta nila, so they're not really selling any type of good like sabi natin example, Mondnesen, di ba? Fast moving consumer goods yung kanilang mga binibenta. So it's kind of easier to classify the cost of goods sold. But again, for COL Financial services yung kanilang binibenta. I mean, they also have like products. Like sabihin natin, ano pong product ng COL Financial? Based on their website, I'm just referring to their website. They have margin accounts. So that is a product. They have like investment seminars. That is also a product. But again, mainly, yung binibenta nila is yung kanilang services. They provide their brokerage services to the public. And now, going back to the review of the financials. So, dito makita natin yung assets, total current assets, total non-current assets, and then of course, the total assets. So, this will equal pagka pinagsama yung liabilities and equity ng company. So, that is the rule sa accounting. Dapat equal yung total assets dun sa total liabilities and equity ng company. If hindi siya nag-balance, then there's something wrong with the accounting. And if may background ka sa basic accounting, I mean, that is sort of an absolute rule. So you can't really, there's no way or there's no like work around it. That is just the absolute rule. Kailangan equal yung total liabilities and equity sa total assets. Then, hindi naman ito yung main focus natin. Punta tayo sa income statement. So, dito makita natin for the 6 months ended June 30. Then, dito for the quarter lang. So, that means na 3 months yan. So, solely the second quarter of 2022. So, dito makita natin agad na yung total revenue nila for the second quarter is 169.7 million pesos. And then yung gross profit, again, binawas na dito yung cost of services. So, that is sort of the cost of goods sold. Kasi nga, services yung ino-offer ng COL Financial. So, this is gonna be their total profit, gross profit. So, pwede nating i-divide itong gross profit na to sa kanilang total revenue para makuha yung kanilang gross profit margin. And ideally, nasa range ng 50 to 70% yung makuha dito sa gross profit margin. So, kunin ulit natin yung calculator natin. Copy lang natin to. And we just have it to divide dito sa total revenue ng company. So, divide lang. Nasa 69.56%. So, that's very good. That is a good gross profit margin. That means na kumbaga merong economic moat, no, yung COL Financial. Although maraming competitors yung COL Financial, but significantly maganda yung kanilang market share. Kasi ang taas ng kanilang gross profit margin, 69.56%. And if we do that dito sa 6 months, no, first 6 months ng 2022, again, you just have to divide it dun sa total revenue. Gross profit margin is gonna be 72.31%. Again, that is a very good number. Ideally nga, dapat between 50 to 70% or even higher yung gross profit margin ng isang company for you to consider buying their stocks. Kasi if it's gonna be lower, then that means na for them to continuously offer those services. Like may mga ganun talagang industry. Isang example niyan is airline industry. They need a lot of capital for them to operate. And then yung margin nila is sobrang baba and sometimes they don't even make money. Like isang example niyan is PAL, Philippine Airlines. Even before the pandemic, like di ba normal naman tayo before the pandemic, marami nagta-travel and all that. PAL was losing money. Kasi again, sobrang capital intensive nung industry nila and nung business nila. But in contrast to that, so flip side, punta naman tayo dito sa COL Financial. So they're offering a service. So they're very profitable in short. Kasi iba yung business model nila in comparison sa airline company. And when we take a look at this financial statement, saan nanggagaling yung majority ng revenue or kinikita ng COL Financial? Number 1 is commissions. So for the first 6 months of 2022, 265.6 million pesos. That is a lot of money. But if we compare it to the number ng 2021, sobrang bumaba siya. So if you're a stockholder of COL Financial, you might be a bit worried. But not really, kasi they're still making money. And maganda yung kanilang profit margin. And kaya naman sobrang taas nung commissions nila nung 2021 is because niride natin yung bull market from late 2020. So buong 2021, maganda talaga yung kinikita nitong mga brokers na to. Kaya 'di ba, nakita natin yung explosion din sa crypto. Ang dami naglabasan and 'di ba yung Coinbase nga, if you're familiar, they went public and right now like their stock is down, I don't know, 80 or even close to 90%, I'm not even sure. But yeah, since na fuel nga yung hype last year, that's why mataas din yung commissions na nakuha and mataas yung revenue ng COL Financial. But hindi naman lagi yung numbers lang yung nagmamatter. Hindi lang yung actual monetary figure. You have again to compute for the margin. So, try natin compute. Try natin i-compare kung ano ba yung percentage difference sa revenue nila ngayon and from the previous year. Kung meron bang difference sa kanilang margin. So, let's check. So, gross profit is 699. I-divide natin yan to 820. So, nasa 85%. So, yes. Mas mataas yung margin nila last year. Although, it's not really that much big of a difference. It's what? Like, around 13% difference. But again, kapag compare natin yung number from 639.8 million last year, 265.6 million for the first 6 months, same period, then that is a big difference, right? Ang laking bagsak nun. But when we compare the margin, it's not that big of a difference. But ibig sabihin lang, revenue is down, but the margin is almost the same, and the margin is healthy. Alright, and then we also have yung second nila na biggest revenue source is interest income. And may makita kayo dito ng mga notes and you can read up on that as you go along the financial statement. So makikita nyo dyan yung mga, kumbaga explanation, saan ba nanggaling to? Saan ba to ginamit? And all that. Then you have trail fees, maliit lang na portion, and others. Then dito makita natin sa notes 6 and 9, yung explanation kung ano ba yung others na yan. Ano ba yung revenue na yan. Kailangan nilang i-disclose yan. Then we have cost of services. So, personnel costs. So, ang liit lang nung cost, no? Nun. So, 25.6 million pesos lang. Then we have communications. So, 20.9 million pesos. Stock exchange dues and fees. 19.8 million pesos. We have depreciation and amortization. Pretty standard with the company, 17 million. Then commission expense, 16.1 million. Central depository fees, 4.9 million. Research, 1.9 million. So, medyo maliit lang yung ginagastos sila for research. Then others, 4.6 million pesos. Totaling 111.2 million pesos in comparison sa total revenue nila na 401.7 million. And again, yung gross profit nga is 290.5 million pesos. And again, when we compute for the gross profit margin, it will amount to around 72%. And then, as we go further along, makita natin dito yung mga operating expenses. And then, other income or losses. So, meron silang trading losses for the first 6 months of 2022. And then we have interest expense, foreign exchange losses, gain on disposal of property and equipment. And then makita natin dito, pagka na-deduct na lahat dun from the gross profit, itong operating expenses, makukuha natin yung income before taxes. Then we have the provision for or benefit from income taxes. Yan. Then makukuha na natin pagka minus ito lahat, makukuha natin yung net income. This is for the first 6 months of 2022. And itong figure naman na to, 48.7 million pesos, is for the second quarter of 2022. And ngayon makita na rin natin dito yung earnings per share. So itong earnings per share na to, it means na you will earn 3 centavos if you bought one stock of COL Financial. So that's basically what it means. So for example, meron 3 pesos and 47 centavos na binili na isang stock ng COL Financial, then that will earn you 3 centavos. And then what we can do with the earnings per share is pwede natin makuha yung price to earnings ratio. So magandang i-compute yung price to earnings ratio sa data or the earnings per share sa isang taon. So since 3 centavos na lang natin sabihin. So multiply na natin to by 2. So assuming na mayiging madadoble pa yung income or yung earnings per share nitong COL Financial the rest of the year. So, yun yung kumbaga forecast natin na ma-imitate lang nila to and magagawa lang nila ito for the rest of the year. So, sa price na 3.47 ng COL Financial sa ngayon, di-divide lang natin to 6 centavos. Kasi yan yung assumed na earnings per share of the company for the whole year. So, ang magiging result is 57.83. So, binabasa natin yung price to earnings ratio, PE ratio, as 53.83x. So, meaning yan, it's trading 57.83 times its earnings. So, kumbaga, inyo kailangan mong bayaran, no? For example, para kumita ka ng piso sa isang company or sa isang stock. So, ang babayaran mo is 57.83 pesos para kumita ka ng piso sa COL Financial. And for PE ratio naman, ang ideal na number, wala talagang general, but kumbaga gusto nating bilhin na company is yung PE ratio nasa 15x lang yung kanilang PE ratio or even below. So that means na medyo undervalued pa yung stock prices ng company na yun. Mga magandang example niyan sabihin natin kung ano ba yung nasa data ko. I'm just gonna refer to my data. Ratio. So magandang PE ratio na below 15 is LTG. LTG 4.71 nga lang. But this should be adjusted sa current market price. Hindi pa updated yung mga current market price ko dito. Then we have PLDT actually is only at 14. And then we have DMC, mababa din, nasa 8 lang. Oh no, nasa 7 lang. And then we have GME7 at 6.8. And then Globe at 11. So those are the stocks, no, na okay yung PE ratio. And again, ideally, dapat i-compute natin to against the earnings per share for a 12-month period. Kasi masyadong tataas yung PE ratio. Like for example, sabihin natin ito, sa 3 centavos lang natin i-divide yung current market price. So, sobrang tataas niya and hindi ganun ka-reliable yung makukuha nyo na result. So, di ba, 115.66x yung magiging result nyo sa PE ratio if i-compute natin yung 6 months lang, first 6 months ng 2022. And yep, that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. Sana may natutunan kayo. Quick recap lang. Natutunan natin kung paano i-check yung nasa pinakadulo. So, makita nyo agad dito yung net profit or loss margin. And pinakita natin kung paano i-compute ito ng mano-mano. Madali lang naman siya. Di-divide mo lang yung net income sa kanyang gross revenue or total revenue. Then, natutunan din natin kung paano i-compute yung gross profit margin. So, kalimitan naman yung gross profit is andito, nakalagay din sa kanilang income statement. But if hindi, kailangan mo lang i-minus yung or deduct yung cost of goods sale or cost of services dun sa total revenues ng company, which is andito palagi sa baba. And then, nakita natin or natutunan natin kung paano identify yung like biggest source of income or revenue ng isang company. And syempre, i-correlate natin yan dun sa industry kung saan nag-ooperate or kung saan player yung business na yun. And then, nakita din natin kung ano ba yung mga dinededuct, no? Yung operating expenses, other income and losses para makuha yung net income. Then, natutunan natin kung paano i-compute yung PE ratio or price to earnings ratio and how we can correlate it, no, sa kinikita ng isang company. And there you have it. Again, thanks for watching and listening, everyone. If bago kayo sa channel ko, then subscribe ka na and ring the notification bell para wala akong miss out sa mga uploads ko. You may also follow me sa mga social media platforms ko. I'm on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at MNPSPH. Again, thanks for watching and listening. Stay safe and always remember, be Peso smart.